All right, everybody, welcome back to Project Phases. This is update 9. Very big update. It has been a while. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's great to have you here. Yeah, like I said, it's been a long time. It's been about a year and a little bit since we last talked on YouTube here with this update. A lot of stuff has happened since then. It's 2020 happened. I hope you're doing just fine. Luckily, Phases has been kind of pretty stable throughout the whole thing. Update 9 is a very big update for many reasons. One of them is being that this is the last big update until the demo releases. So update 10 will come around. That's the last update, and you'll be able to play the demo for Project Phases when update 10 comes out. However, we'll talk about that more at the end. We got a lot to talk about in this update in particular, though. So in the description, there's going to be a website post to my website, Soltairus.com. There's a website post there about update 9. It goes into way more detail than this video is. There's literally an hour worth of content, I would say, in terms of updates and changes I've made for Project Phases. So there's a lot of things that I won't talk about that I'm going to talk about in the website post. I put a lot of work into it. To put in perspective how big this is, the last update, which was the longest update up to this point, or the biggest update, update 8, was 6 pages. Update 9 is 20. So we got about like a lot more stuff to talk about. So yeah, a lot of them, the one we're going to talk about here are visual changes, not very technical or systematic changes. But yeah, we'll get to all that. But yeah, I think that's about it from the introduction. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, first things first, you may have noticed 2 big changes right away from this title screen that we always start on. First of all, we have this new logo here, this new title screen, Project Phases text, I guess. I'll put the old one up on screen now. The old one basically was Project Phases, sort of crudely written out by me, and then a bunch of assets kind of thrown on there, kind of like a collage. It was kind of a weird, not very good looking title screen. I kind of put it together a few hours before I uploaded the or recorded the overview video, just because I thought I needed something. So it didn't really turn out that good, but I just kind of kept it around. I guess it just sort of survived. I never really thought about changing it, but now we changed it. We got a new one. It looks really good. I really like it. It's clean. We got the little clock here, sort of similar to Chrono Trigger. And we got this timeline here to sort of still have that sort of, I guess, the asset feel of the old one. I'll talk about the circumstances of why we have a new title screen a bit later, because there's more of a story to it than you might think. But yeah, we got it. Looks really good. Second big change you might notice right away is this new button, this new load button. I do wonder what that does. Trust me, we will get onto that later. So once we press start here, you'll see a big change right away. And that is, let's just do it. We changed the graphics again. This is the 3rd time I've updated the graphics, the best ones yet. I really put a lot of time into making sure I knew what I was doing. I put time in sort of practicing a lot. For the most part, I drew all the overworld assets, and like, I'm not an artist by any stretch of the word. That's why a lot of the past art has not been very good. But I put a lot of work into drawing and practicing and trying to make it look good. I think it turned out really good. Is it amazing? No. Is it like much better than it was? Yes. And I think I'm proud of it. I'm really happy the way it turned out. And I hope you do like it too. There's a lot to take in, a lot of new elements in the overworld here. So we'll just kind of go over things one by one. But right away, I'll let you know where we're at, actually. This is actually a location. This is the starting town, Arlette. I do plan for this to be in the final demo. It might be different looking. It might be things that have changed. But the town of Arlette will be the starting town. And here we are. This is Arlette. We got a bunch of stuff to go over. So yeah, let's just go over them one by one. All right, moving to the northwest from here, which can change location just to vary it up a little bit. You can see the first big change we want to go over, which is Daryl himself. You might notice he got a new sprite. He also has some new animations for walking around, as you can see. So yeah, I worked a lot harder on these. The old ones looked awful. I'm not even going to put them up because I don't. You can go back and look at them. They just have really weird, disjointed movements. They're in the website post if you want to see them. I don't know. They look awful. These are much better. I mean, it's still not great, but it's way better than we had before, so I'm really happy with it. Also, slight change to Daryl. Not really referring to graphics, but the dash, his sprint has changed. It used to be you would get a huge burst of speed. But now you just sort of sprint like you normally would, instead of, you might be able to see the speed difference there. Sometimes it's kind of hard to see on camera without really feeling it, but you do just sort of get a sprint now instead of a dash as it was before. Again, I don't really know if that's a final change. We'll see. All right, next up we have this lady here. It's a villager. She's a villager who roams Arlette. More technically, she's an NPC. NPCs have been upgraded quite a bit since we last saw them. They usually just sort of stand around, and that was it. Didn't really do much. Could talk to them, and they sort of stood there. But now they walk around. They're much more dynamic. They have different animations, which are based on Daryl's, as you might be able to tell. And you'll also, when we'll talk to her, you'll see we actually have updated text boxes. So you'll hear that. You hear the text. These text boxes have been updated since, we had those since like update 2 or 3 or something. But yeah, now they've been updated. We have profile pictures now. The names of the whoever's talking, so in this case, just a villager, generic villager. And I think we have a bit more room than before to actually like talk, put text there, which is pretty good. Very good changes all around. All right, moving along to the southwest side of town here. We have this pond surrounded by these trees. The pond looks very nice. Some new tile sets for you. But also these trees surrounding it. They're animated. You might be able to tell they sway slowly from side to side. They also drop leaves occasionally. All of this, of course, is randomized, so you'll never get the same sort of tree twice, theoretically. Also, if you look to the left here, you have these fences. These are what keep you from leaving Arlette. I guess it's sort of the more in-context invisible wall, but if we didn't have these, you'd just be able to walk straight off the map. And that's no good. All right, next up, we're going to go talk to Chris, the shopkeeper. You might be able to tell he got a bit of an upgrade. He has a new stand there. But when we go to talk to him, there's actually a trigger for a new system here. That is the cutscene system. So there are now cutscenes in the game. I'll just let it play out for you so you can just sort of see how it works. So basically from the top and bottom, the black bars will come out just to kind of signify it's a cutscene. And then from here, the characters can move, talk, do whatever they need to, whatever sequence to be done. And it just sort of works. It's really good system. Weird conversation if you read it. Exactly. All right, moving right along, we're going to talk to this villager down here. I heard he has something to tell us, so let's just see what's up. He says, hey, Daryl, can you find Alex for me? His house is the red-roofed one east from here. How interesting. So when we finish talking to him, you actually see we get a new quest added. So the quest system has been fully implemented now. This tab has been in here for a long time now, actually. It's just been empty, but now we have a quest system. So you help quests progress the game, get rewards. You know, it sort of works the way you'd expect a quest system to work. So this quest is to find Alex. His house is in Arlette, the red roofed one on the east side of town. So let's go check it out. Let's see. Oh, there it is. The red roofed house on the east side of town. Let's go say hi. It's locked. We need Alex's house key. So from here, the quest will be updated. You can click here to go to the quest again, or you can do it through this menu. Same thing. The door is locked. I need some way to get in. Maybe his key is around here somewhere. So conveniently, there's this chest next to his house. I wonder what's in here. His key. Fantastic. Briefly touch on chests. Chests have also been updated a bit. They support upside down chests, so they can be properly flipped upside down without being weird like they used to. They've also been updated a bit smarter now in terms of they can hold more items. They can also not give you the item if you have too much of them. They couldn't before. So a bit smarter overall. A bit more versatile chest. Very good changes there. Quests have been updated again. Let's check it out. I found the key. I should be able to get in to talk to Alex now. So let's go ahead and get in to talk to Alex. It says it's unlocked and can go inside now. And then the last thing you'll see is the new house tile set. So houses, of course, have their own tile sets. You got the wood here on the floor. Got the white walls, little painting here in the corner, very nice, kind of plain. We'll see if we can spruce it up a bit more later. As you can see, Alex is just having a field day running around here. So let's go talk to him. Hi, I'm Alex. I'm just a loading guy, waiting here for get more stuff added to the game. If you remember, Alex was the NPC at the top of the map before. He just sort of chilled there. He's his new redesign, of course, based on the new sort of sprites. But there we go. We got our quest complete. We click on it. There'll be no more quests. So that's how the quest system works, and it works very well. I wanted to show with this demonstration is the triggers for the quest. So you can, talking to an NPC can trigger a quest, or opening doors and chests and things like that. There are a lot of different things that can make a quest progress, which we can use to just have a lot of variety in our quest. It's not just a fetch quest here or a kill quest here. A lot of variety. We have a lot of options. All right, next up, we're going to actually go towards the north here. There's a bit of an opening here, but there's an area to the north from here. Kind of interesting. You'll actually see the fade transition. We have a few new transitions from room to room, so it's not just snapping instantaneously. So that's a cool transition. You might have seen it a few times before already. We also have these trees here. These trees aren't animated because it's a bigger cluster, and bigger clusters just don't really look as good. But yeah, here we have this cave here, and this is where the north cave is now. If you remember in the last update, we talked about the north cave a bit. I think it was newly added actually when I did that. But now it's been updated with the new graphics, same sort of layout, but as you can see, looks very nice in my opinion. One of the best tile sets that I think we've made so far. But what I want to talk about in here is this weird flag. You might have seen a few of these. There's one right outside the cave. There's one in the main town of Arlette. These flags are all over the place, and what these are save flags. So this is how you can save the game. There's a new system. You can save the game now. It can save your stats, your points, your health, everything. Everything saves the way you expect it to. Nothing abnormal happens. So let's just go demonstrate that real quick. So yeah, we're going to go here, interact with it. It says game saved. So from here, we'll restart the game. So if you just hit start, it will just start us back at the beginning again. But if we press load, it should go back to where we were. In fact, let's actually, let's take everyone's health down. So we're at 18, 22, and 44. We'll resave. And then start here, back to full health. But if we load, you'll see we're back at 18, 22, and 44. So yeah, works exactly as you expect it to. Heading right back outside though, of the North Cave, you'll actually see this other flag. It's the same flag, but it has this red cross on it. What this signifies is that it's a healing flag, so it can heal your party as well as save the game. So if we talk to it, it'll say game saved, party healed. And if you remember our health before, now it's at full. So as we go deeper in the cave, this is the third floor of it. We'll come across this door here, this sort of vault-looking door, blocking this pathway. Kind of curious. Let's go check it out. I don't have the key, so very similar to the house door. You need keys to open doors, obviously. So this, see it right here. You have the cave door key. Using this, you can get in the inventory, key items right there. Cave door key. So we go over here, press E, and the door will open up for us. So you can walk through. Nice little way of locking people, progression, things like that. Simple little door. All right, now we're heading towards the south part of town to show you a bit more of town, but also to show you a new system, the depth system. So this is a mechanic that's in most sort of 2D games. It's what determines what you're in front of and behind of. So in this case, it determines whether we're in front of the house or behind the house. In this case, it determines whether we're in front of this dummy or behind this dummy. As you can see, it helps sell the illusion of depth. Sometimes, however, big objects like the house, you go behind them and you can't see your player anymore. So in these cases, the object will actually become transparent and fade out so you can see what's going on. All right, that's all the overworld changes we're going to go over for now. We're going to head to the battle now. But first, I actually want to play you this clip from another video I made that kind of showcases what we're in store for. I hope you enjoy. That's right, we have completely overhauled the visual graphic side of the battle system. It looks so much better than it did before. If you go back, you'll see the little blocky guys with the black background. Everyone said those guys look like Mega Man, which I kind of see it. Anyways, doesn't matter anymore. We got new sprites for everyone. Everyone has new sprites. We got Daryl, Clint, Oliver, Clockman, Crocman, and Lockman. New designs, new sprites. There's animations all across the board. This new background with everything's kind of randomized. Everything's animated. The trees, the clouds, the flowers. Very good stuff. Sort of brief story of how this all happened. I was a few of my friends. They saw kind of the state of the game and they're like, "Oh, cool, cool." And I was like, "I'm gonna draw some stuff eventually." And they're like, "Let's help out." They're a lot more artistically talented than I am. My artistic talent was already being pushed quite a bit with like the overworld sprites. Which is still pretty much all me. And like, so them coming in to help a lot, especially with animation. I have a really tough time with animation. Just was humongous help. I cannot thank them enough for it. And they did such a good job putting personality into these characters. So like, as we kind of go through it, through everything, pay attention to the idle animations, the attack animations, and you'll kind of get a sense of kind of what the character's all about, especially for the players. The enemies, quite honestly, not all the animations are done. There's still a lot of work we need to do, but they weren't done in time for this video, which is fine. Just keep that in mind. If something seems missing or out of place, that's why it's just not done yet. We're working on it. It's a work in progress. But yeah, with all that out of the way, I really hope you enjoy, looking through all the new graphical stuff as we go through all the new gameplay changes. All right, first things first, let's go over a lot of the big UI changes that you can see right off the bat. First off, let's go over this middle menu. It's been redesigned. It's kind of the same layout as before, but it's a lot smaller, a lot slimmer lines. These buttons and hitboxes have much nicer looking outlines to them. It's a much more efficient use of space as well overall. Very good change there. Moving right along, if you go above the players here, you'll see the new stats. Before, it was just like icons and then the number under it. Didn't look very good. It was just kind of thrown on there. Now it's a much more elegant solution. The big main attraction is the health bar in the middle. That's new, and it's actually kind of a dynamic health bar, and we'll get to that in a little bit, how it kind of reacts to the attacks and selecting and things like that. Really cool stuff there. It's surrounded by the points and the time, and it's in this the custom font there. I actually made this font manually to make it fit right, to get the smaller size. But I think it turned out really well. Of course, all the 3 players have this. And last UI thing is if you go down to the timeline also has a bit of a graphical uplift, has more of a gradient effect. It also has, it's a bit easier to see with Clint here, has like a sort of shine over it at times. There's also some custom effects. It can change color depending if you have like your attack broken or something. It also can shatter in that situation as well. Pretty cool stuff. All right, let's go over some gameplay changes now. The first thing we're going to cover is what I call the hover mechanics. So this is what happens whenever you hover over attack hitbox. So what it used to be just select an attack and just work normally. But now if you hover over a slash, for instance, to use slash, you'll see the arrows will show up on the enemy timeline. Also your own, but I guess that matters less in this context. So these arrows will show where that attack will land on the enemy timeline before you do it. This helps because then you can just sort of see where it'll land at a glance without having to test it each one as you used to. So now if we click on here and we can select whoever we want. But there's more to the hovering than you might have seen originally. If you look at the health bars, you'll see they're actually different for each character. If you look at Crocman, that's sort of the normal. Whenever everything's purple, it's sort of dignifying the future. That's what's going to happen in the future. So in this case, the part that's purple is the part that the damage is going to do for Slash. So Slash is going to do what, like 22 damage? And because he's attacking in the wave phase, it's going to land in the wave phase, so it's going to do full damage. Contrast that with Clockman. He's landing in the defend phase, so there's not going to do any damage. Hence, there's no change in his health bar. And Lockman's kind of an in-between. It's landing in the attack phase. And whenever you land an attack in the attack phase, it does a random amount of damage. So it's orange to signify the randomness, I guess. It's just a different color. So there lands in the attack phase. So you can see all the attack damages, if it'll work or not at a glance without having to click every time. So it's much easier to make selections on the fly. All right, let's go ahead and select some attacks here then just to show off some other stuff. We'll do a slash on Crocman and a slash on Clockman. And what I want to show off are the other hover mechanics, which was already in the game before. So if you remember, we had this description box here at the bottom, and it shows up with descriptions of whatever you're hovering over if it's applicable. But now there's been a bunch of stuff that's been added to that hover list. So you can hover over these arrow now, the arrow markers. They will give you a bunch of information like who's using the attack, what order it is, who's the target, and what the damage is. You can also do it for these order pane things here. You can also do it for the characters themselves. So Clockman, you can see his information. You can see it for the players as well. Just a lot of extra information for hovering if you so need it. So this looks like a pretty good attack, so we're just going to go ahead and do this, and a couple things are going to happen. So we're going to press end, and Daryl's going to start his animation, his attack animation, but then it'll actually freeze, just like that. What this is are the freezing mechanics. This is more of a visual thing, but basically, whenever you reach an attack phase, the idea is that everything else stops, right? Because you're just thinking of what you're going to do. In that case, everything needs to stop. So in this case, Daryl's attack animation stopped in the middle of it, and he gets grayed out just to sort of prove that fact. Oliver's the one thinking here, so he's still there thinking with his new thinking animation. Speaking of animations, I do want to cover a quick sort of cool little feature with the animations. If you think about it, if we were to start the animations when the attack landed, it'd actually be too late because the animation has like a wind up, right? You have a wind up and then you attack. So what we need to do is the system needs to start the animation earlier to make it land when the attack is ready. So in this case, you can see Daryl here already started his animation, even though it's not going to hit for another few frames here. It's easier to see with Oliver here. So we're going to do let's do a fire punch. We'll do a fire punch on Clockman, which will probably take him out. Oliver, he has a fire punch animation. He'll start it way earlier. And then when he finally hits it, it's when the attack impact happens. So if you follow closely here, you'll see right there. Yep, there we go. Next up, we have the other menu. So in the past, we've actually had this other menu here at the bottom, attack items and other, and it's just been there, but it's been empty this entire time. But now there's actually stuff there. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. And there are 3 options. We have skip, inspect, and run. So these options are kind of just like other moves, miscellaneous other moves you can do in a turn, and they have different effects. So let's just go through them one by one. First, we have skip. It's kind of what it sounds like. the description literally just says skip the attack phase. So you might be asking yourself, we can already skip the attack phase in many different places. Why do we need it again? So this is a cool thing you can do. So let's say we use slash, and let's say we want to skip out of the attack phase as soon as possible. So what we can do is go into the other menu and add skip as an attack pretty much. So once we do slash, once we reach this 2 on the timeline, we'll skip the attack phase. So we'll just end that. We'll have to get through Oliver. And there we go, we skipped. It's just another way to skip, just if you want to plan ahead, so you don't have to fumble so much with skipping individual players. You can do it within the attack pane, and it gets treated just like any other attack, so keep that in mind. All right, the next other option we have to go over is inspect. So you might have noticed when we went over the stats of the enemies here, that points, the enemy points is missing. In the past, the enemy points was shown right next to the health. Well, now you have to inspect for it. Basically, it's just looking for the points. That's kind of the best way to describe it. If you hover over the enemy, it'll actually tell you that you need to inspect to reveal the points. Right now, it's just question marked out. And hover over expect, the description is take some time to inspect the enemy, allowing you to see the target amount of points. So you have to do it one by one, so you don't just do it all by one fell swoop. So let's say we wanted to see Crocman's points. So we do that, and we can see what his points is. Knowing the enemy points, of course, can help you sort of strategize a bit more. If they're low on points, you might be able to rely on them waiting or not attacking, and it just might help you out a bit. All right, last but not least, we have run. It's pretty self-explanatory what it does. It lets you run away from battle, whether you think it's too hard or you don't really want to do it, whatever the reason is. However, it's not as simple as just clicking on it and then running away. There's a bit more nuance to it. It's a bit unique of a system, so we'll see it here. Let's just hover over it to see the description. It says, take your chances and run. It takes the entire attack phase to execute, and if you get hit during the startup, you will fail. So what this means pretty much is, in order to run, it takes the entire attack phase, so you can't attack in the same turn you're running. Furthermore, it'll actually stop any other character from attacking. So if we select run here, it'll say here, you can't select anymore because you're running away. So we can't select any more attacks or anything until we clear this run or just do the run. So Daryl's the one doing the run. So if he gets hit during his attack phase, the run will be canceled and it won't work. If he doesn't get hit, the run will be successful and you'll be able to lead the battle. Right now, the enemy AI is not fully functioning. So they're actually just set to hit random enemies right now. Meaning I have no clue if this run is gonna succeed or not. Because if Lockman here decides to attack Daryl, the run will fail. So let's see if it fails or goes good. I don't know. We'll see. And so far so good. So as you can see on Oliver here, we can't select any attacks because we're running away. So let's just keep going. And cool, they attacked Clint instead of Daryl, so we were able to run away. So we got a little fade out. There's no like screen for it yet. There will be later. But yeah, we can just try and go back in. Maybe let's test our luck again. Let's run again. Let's see if we can get Daryl to get hit. There we go. Run failed. Fantastic. So, we ran, the run failed, so we didn't run this time. So yeah, that's the running system. I think it's a really cool system. Pretty unique. I like how it gives more value to characters with shorter attack phases. Since they inherently don't have much value or as much value just because they can't attack as much. But you can pretty much, as long as you plan ahead, you can run from any situation, but it's about that planning. You can't just run when you want to. Like, running is a commitment more than just something you do. But at the same time, if your characters are really fast, like, let's say it's really under-leveled enemies or something, if your characters are really fast, you'll just be able to run without any issue. So it's a good balance, I think, that will work really well, and it integrates well with the game as it is right now. All right, so next thing I want to talk about is actually something that's missing. You might have noticed in like the shuffle between the new and the old graphics that the little small skip button here that used to be next to the character that allowed you to skip the phase whenever you wanted to is missing now. It's gone. So what's up with that? So yeah, that button is gone. It didn't really look all that good. We couldn't really make it look good without standing out too much. So instead, it's gone. However, the functionality is still there. In order to skip any phase now, you had to right-click on a player. So as you see there in the description, it says right-click player to skip current phase. We'll do it for like Daryl here. So there you go. Then he skips the phase, and Clint can do the same. So the functionality is still there. It's just somewhere different now. All right, next up we have these two new techniques you can do to sort of save time, I guess. It's attack and order canceling. So we'll go over attack canceling first because it's pretty simple. So let's say we do slash, right? Before, when we had it selected, the only way to unselect it was to select an enemy and then clear. It is kind of unintuitive. Now you can select it and then you can right-click it to simply unselect, so you don't have to select and then clear. It just cancels the attack pretty much. Furthermore, we have order canceling, which is a bit more complicated and a bit more useful, honestly. So we're just going to use a bunch of items here. Let's just use point packets, heal packets. Let's throw a liquid fire in there. Do we have enough for anything else? No, we don't. Let's not do liquid fire then. Yeah, that'll do. So we have a bunch of items here. But let's say I didn't want to use this third heal packet. That was a mistake. Before, I would have to clear the entire thing and re-add all the orders without that. But now you can actually just right-click the order you want to get rid of, and then it will go away and be re-added. So right now we have point, heal, point, right? So let's get rid of this third heal. So it'll be point, heal point. So that third heal is gone. That's order canceling. So you can cancel orders individually without having to clear them. It's pretty cool, very useful. And it also gets like added back in the way you would logically think it would. So it fills in the gaps. So if I got rid of the first order, everything would be moved up by one, as you can see. So it's not like there's gaps left filled. So it's a pretty cool mechanic. So let's just end that and you can just see that action. All right, next we're just going to go straight through a battle. The next thing I need to show you is at the end of the battle. So we need to go through a battle anyways, but I figured I'd just show you. You can kind of see how it's kind of evolved and what's different. It's much more stable now. So yeah, we'll just go through it. You can look through all the animations. It's really cool stuff. I've done this battle so many times, so I know what the best plays are. So yeah, we'll just go through. Also pay attention to some of the name changes. So as you can see, Revenge here, that's new. It used to be called Living Strike. It's more just to be more in tone with the new character designs. But that's Clockman. Not confusing at all. So let's see. We can do some items here. Let's get some speed. That sounds fun. Actually, that's kind of a useless speed buff, isn't it? Let's do it for... honestly, for Daryl might be good because then we can get Lockman's lined up a bit better. With that, oh yeah, that'll work just fine. Very good. Look at Lockman there. Perfect. So now Daryl's lined up. So let's see, will I kill him? Yes, very nice. Awesome. So now we just have Crocman left. And a multi-strike will take him out. Perfect. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to show you, I hope you enjoyed that. Very, very good. A lot of strategy there. Kind of saw some of the mindsets there. Anyways, next thing I want to show you was the new EXP system. So yeah, we have experience, EXP points, whatever you want to call them, and level up. Characters can now level up and get experience and then gain more stats. Pretty typical RPG system, but we have that now. It's very basic, rudimentary stuff right now. But we're able to add more stuff down the line when we kind of have a more solid plan to how far we're going to go with the demo. So yeah, right now, when you finish a battle, the end screen isn't really existing. There's like a placeholder end screen, and then sort of the XP will fly out of the characters here. So just pay attention. It's going to be like 20 something XP. So yeah, once we've ended this battle, you'll see that. It'll say that you see 29 XP, little end screen thing, and now we're back to the game. It fades out nice instead of snapping back in. Now that we're out of the battle, we can actually check the XP here as well. So if you go to the inventory, you can see there's level numbers here. So he's level 1, Clint's level 1, Oliver's level 1. If you click to the expanded menu, you can see the exact XP here as well. That's the same for everyone. Everyone got 29 XP, so everyone's at 29. These overworld menus, we were planning to redesign them. They're kind of outdated now that everything is up in graphical quality. And also we can redesign them to be more made for stuff like XP that didn't exist before, or some of these attacks. Like there's a lot more stuff that's been added since these menus been made. So I think a redesign is definitely in order for the update 10 update. All right, the final new thing we're going to talk about in this video is revive. So you can now revive your party members outside a battle. Revive is a pretty unique item right now because you can only use it outside a battle in the overworld. It doesn't even show up in the battle menu. That's because we haven't really added the ability to use revives in there. So they had to actually just break the game. So we just don't have them there. Maybe in the future we'll be able to add revives in battle. Hopefully, to be honest. It sounds like a good feature to have. But anyways, if we open the inventory, we'll see that Clint has fainted here. When your health reaches 0, you will faint. So we need to revive them. So if we go to items, we have a few revives here. So the way revives works, just as you would expect, you just use like any other item. If we even like try to use a healing packet, it won't do anything to him. However, if we use a revive, it'll actually heal 1 damage and it'll heal him back to health. At that point, we still need to heal him back up. Revives don't really give you much of any health at the moment. We might give them like variations of them, like max revives or something similar like Pokemon. That can heal different amounts of health. But right now, it just gives you 1 HP, gets you back up. Of course, you can also use the healing save flags to heal someone and get them back to health. And just like that, that's the update. Lots of stuff, a lot of stuff. Again, I can't stress enough. He went over a lot of stuff in here, but like, there's way more stuff in the update post on the website. way more detail, a lot more specific things, especially more technical things there. So go check that out. It's really good stuff there. So yeah, we're at that section where I just sort of ramble on about what's next. So if you're only here for the updates, thank you for stopping by. It really means a lot. We'll see you later. For people who are curious about what's next, let's just go over that. So I'm just going to ramble unedited. So I'm sorry if I have a lot of ums in there. So update 9. Update 9 was the last update before the demo. That was kind of always the plan. Update 10 was the demo update. And that's still the plan. In terms of like where we're at, the battle system is honestly like really close to being done. Besides like some bug fixes, just basically a lot of bug fixes and enemies, just getting more enemy variety and enemy AI working again. We've had enemy AI working before, so we can easily get it working again. But yeah, enemy variety is a big one, just to spice it up, to be honest. And then yeah, just sort of expand on that. As a whole, the battle system is very robust. It's like it works very well. It's a lot more stable. Again, I talk about this a lot more in the update in the website post. But like in the past, it's been in a kind of a mess, unstable. It's been glitchy, like unreliable. It was really hard to debug and decode. It was really demoralizing. So I went through and kind of fixed everything. It took a long time, but it's in a way better place right now, which is really great because the battle system, I guess, in the end, is the core of Project Phases. That's the phases of Project Phases, all about the battle system. Like the overworld's cool, but like that's not really what you're playing Phases for. In terms of that, update 10, that's going to be the demo release. I don't even think it's going to be. I'm going to make sure update 10 comes out when the demo releases. And because of that, update 10 will probably be pretty tame in terms of actual updates. I've made a commitment that we won't really reveal anything after Arlette, the Arlette section. That's the opening town. So that includes Arlette and the North Cave. The North Cave is going to be like the first kind of dungeon area you go to. But yeah, anything besides those two areas, I won't really show on Twitter or on the update or anything. Just so like you don't get spoiled, so you can play the game blind if you want to. Like we have a lot of ideas. It's getting to the point where I'm not really sure what the scope of the demo is going to be. It's like I want it to be big, but it's starting to get to the point where it's going to be so big that I can't really call it a demo anymore. So I might just call it like I don't know, it might just be a release of Project Phases. No demo, it's the release, you know? Because like originally it was going to be like a 20-30 minute demo, and then I just got more ideas, and I'm like, I want to do this and that. I want to do this area and this area. I guess this is kind of how it works. And like I put so much effort into it. I'm putting so much time into it to just kind of make it a demo. Like, I don't know, I feel like Project Phases is deserving to be more than that. So I'm honestly thinking of just calling it just a release. It's Project Phases. Here it is. The reason I always called it a demo is because the original idea was always to make Project Phases and then build off of it and make a full-fledged game. So Project Phases would just be like a demo. It'd be like, hey guys, look, I make a game. Isn't this cool and cool mechanic? And people are like, yeah, it's a cool mechanic. And I'd be like, all right, cool, we're going to make another game, but it's going to be like based on this, but it's going to be cooler. It's going to be a story and that cool stuff. That was always the plan. But that was like, back then the plan was have the demo done in a year or in a few months. That was 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago. So yeah, things change a lot. We've gotten a lot more ambitious, and I'm really happy about it. I'm really happy the way it's shaping up, especially with the new art. I cannot stress that enough how amazing that is. How much of a load that was off my shoulders when we finally got that, because I was so worried about that. That was like the thing I couldn't do. Like I can do everything so far up to this point. I could do the music, I can do the programming, I can do the game design, I can do a lot of things. I cannot do art like at all. The overworld like stuff, the overworld animations and the tile sets are like pushing my limits. Like they look good, like they look fine. But man, it's tough. You artists out there, like you're crazy. I don't know how you do it. I really don't know how you do it. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I think updates are going to start getting kind of scarce once we start developing like areas for the final demo game. I don't know. I still don't know what I'm going to call it. It really depends how big of a scope it is. Once we finally get some once we finally get stuff down on paper, kind of what the progression is going to be, where we're going to go, how it's going to work. Because I have a lot of ideas. I have a lot of ideas how I want it to be, how many areas I want, how many, I don't know, boss fights, mini bosses, things like that. But nothing's down on paper yet. Once we kind of plan that out, which should be pretty soon here, once we get those last few bugs figured out, I'll let you know what it's going to be in the end. I am really leaning towards more just calling it Project Phases, and then here's it is, release. It just makes more sense to me, especially that then we can make an excuse to make it a bigger scope. And by bigger scope, I don't mean like 7 to 8 hours. I mean like maybe like 2 to 3, maybe. Because again, it was supposed to be like 20, 30 minutes, and I was like, maybe an hour. And then now I'm like, maybe 2 hours. Again, I guess we'll never know how long it's going to be until it's finally done and we get to play it. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. It's really, really exciting stuff. So thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me. The support recently has been insane. You know, between the Twitter's especially surprising, right? Twitter, I hang out on the Unique Endies RPG Discord server a lot. I'll post that in the description as well. Go check it out. It's a great place. A lot of cool, amazing looking games there, developers, players too. I'm there all the time, so if you want to stop by, say hi, I will gladly talk to you. But yeah, just everywhere. The support's been really good. We're almost at 100 followers on Twitter, which is a crazy number. Like I usually don't like making a big deal out of numbers. Like they're kind of arbitrary in the grand scheme of things. Especially Twitter followers. Like come on, but like I don't know. It's like cool, you know. Like triple digits. It's like, whoa, I did that because I made a game. Like, it's neat. And I just thank you. That's all I have to say. Thank you. It's been a real journey, especially this year. Jeez, this year. To be honest though, this year has helped quite a lot. I had suddenly a lot of time all of a sudden. I mean, it sucks the circumstances where that time came from. I wish we didn't have to go through a global pandemic, but, you know, got to make the most out of it, I guess. You know, we're making this. Now I got more people to worry about, more people helping me. So we're a team now. We're making this, you know, and, you know, knowing that somewhat like at least one person will play it and hopefully that one person will enjoy it. That means the world. That makes it worth it. You know, all the heartache, all the struggle is real. Go read the update post. The struggle was real there for a little bit. Like it makes it worth it. And then like, if you're listening to me right now, that you're one of those people, and thank you. You make this worth it. Just thank you so much. I think that's about it. We'll wrap it up here. I'll tell you about my social places. Again, go check out the website post. I've said that so many times, but it's true. It's just there's so much stuff there. There's so much stuff. A lot of work went into that. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video, this update. Go follow me on Twitter if you want very constant updates. I'm usually there a lot. I usually post things as I create them on there, bugs and all. So be ready for that. And seriously, if you want to come chat or do you want to see a bunch of other awesome games, go check out the Unique Indie RPG Discord. Awesome community there. So yeah, besides that, you know, subscribe to all the things. Follow me on Twitch if you want to talk to me live while I make the game sometimes. But yeah, I think that's going to about wrap it up. So again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here, for listening, for watching, for supporting. And yeah, I guess we'll talk again in this sort of format when the game is out. I hope it's not another year, but you know, if it is, it is. Whatever will be, will be. Thank you guys.